My name is Ruth Buentello. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I currently don't go to school, but I graduated from the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and I currently work at Salon-styled Cultural Arts. I currently work with acrylics. I usually work on either paper or canvas, and I dabble in mixed media. Identity has always informed my work. It's something that I cannot create without talking about identity. I make work about the things that I know, and the things that I know are who I am and the people that are around me, the experiences that I have. And I just think identity lends itself also to narratives, which is something that I'm very interested in, are people and people's stories. We were all friends, and we saw a need. We started having conversations about artists and women, and how there's kind of a lack of representation of women our age in the arts. And so we just kind of got together like comadres, and Mari initiated the collective, and we all kind of came together, and it's been working really well since then. The Chicanas Only concept came about through lots and lots of conversations about what the theme of this exhibition should be. We wanted it to be pretty significant, because it was going to be a show outside of San Antonio. It was going to be a show in a museum, and we also wanted to pursue something a little more aggressive in our theme. In the past, we've been working with community-based themes, or themes that related to our experiences as women, and this one we wanted to make more of a statement, with the title being Chicanas Only, and our work. Specifically, my piece, the way I approached it was I wanted to say something about my experience with my mother and my father. My father, like typical Mexicanos, but not all Mexicanos are like this, but stereotypical Mexicanos, very controlling, very, very machistas, and that's something that I grew up with. And at one point I thought that was something that I could accept, and so being in the collective, I've started to recognize and realize what is not acceptable, and I decided to make work about it and comment on it. And the piece that I created is a painting. It's actually kind of like a fiber arts painting piece. It's a painting of my mother sewn on a sabana, and my father it's an image of my father embedded inside of her, and that image of him is a very, very odd image. It almost looks like a ghost-like image of him inside of her, and he has this upset look, almost like if he's disturbed or something's wrong with him. And she's kind of in this, this is me. I've kind of conformed and been submissive to what this person is and who he is to my life. And so, and he is her and she is him, but they kind of define each other. Their relationships define each other, and that's what that piece was about. Working with Mexic-Arte, I think we were requested to work with the museum, and we felt really, I think, honored to work with the museum. We had worked in spaces that were homes. We had worked in galleries before, but never a museum. So it was definitely a step up for Más Rudas. We have worked with installations before and theme-based shows. So that's something that was something that we carried in over to Mexic-Arte. What was different was the theme, and actually working not in the space. We didn't know what the space would look like. We kind of didn't know what the audience would be like, and so we kind of threw ourselves out there with the statement and the layout of of the exhibition, down to the color, to the patterns. I wasn't involved as much as the other Rudas were because I was out of town, but it was still really exciting to know that we were creating a show about feminism and talking about what Chicanas experience, because it's very different from other feminist point of views. I hope to, as an emerging artist, I hope to exhibit more as an emerging artist. I think this past year with Más Rudas has been a start. We have had about maybe 3 or 4 shows together. I'd like to continue exhibiting in different spaces that aren't in San Antonio, and I'd like to actually get my master's degree. Artistically, I'd like to take it to the next level and take my work to a different scale. As far as advice for young Chicanos or young Chicanas or Latinos, I would say identity is not something that people can dismiss. I think a lot of times Latinos and Latinas, Chicanas, their artwork gets dismissed or placed in a box, and it's an easy way for people to dismiss your issues or even to dismiss your artwork because it looks a certain way, or it talks about certain things that are too deep for people to understand. So I would say just keep on going. I was told in art school to not make work about identity, even by Latinos, by Latino artists. So I would just say keep going. It's been really great for me. I get to understand who I am and understand the people around me a lot better, and be able to tell my story.